Patience is a virtue. Everything in life takes time. Stay focused. Stay consistent. Stay on your grind. Wow. Second man up, just like Scottie Pippen. Had to wait my turn, I ain't even tripping. Double up like double cups, I ain't even sipping. Second man up. You been watching the NBA playoffs lately?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
You into sports?
No.
Oh. What you be into? You ain't into any sports or anything like that?
I'm in music, movies. Yeah, that's me. And dancing, of course, but that's it.
Right. I already know dancing for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I already know we gonna get into that for sure.
You been doing research, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We most definitely finna get into that for sure. Gonna wait till a few more people get off in here.
Okay.
Sometimes how Instagram be,
Oh, yeah. You don't have no
with
excuse.
sending your
I already
followers
know.
notifications.
Right.
Let's see what's going on. We had like 100 people in here yesterday.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Welcome to the live. We got a special guest on today, Brande Patrice. That's how you say it, right?
That's right. Brande Patrice.
Okay. Got to make sure that thing correct before we get off into the interview. Everybody, welcome to the show. You look good, by the way, today.
Thank you.
All right, we about to get this thing started. I see you got everything set up right.
Oh, yes, I'm very much into that. I'm very much into presentations.
Right. I see that. I do trucking for a living, so
Okay.
while I'm not at the house, I do the podcast while I'm driving. I got to make sure I tend to all the guests every week. So
Okay. So that's
24/7 grind.
That's what you're doing right
Yeah.
now. For real?
Yeah, I'm a driver. Yeah. If you see the background, you see the.
Right as we speak.
Oh no, I'm not driving. I'm parked. Oh no.
I would say you got
But usually on the weekend it's really like my free time towards the end of the week. So you know what I'm saying. What's good? Okay, we about to go on and get this thing started. Y'all, welcome to the show. All right, let's go on and get this thing going.
Amen.
Welcome to Street Dialogue Podcast, where we get dialogue from the street's perspective. And today we have a special guest, Brande Patrice. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So go ahead on and introduce yourself for the fans that are watching that might not know who you are.
All right, I'm Brande Patrice. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I am into R&B soul. I love dancing. I'm a choreographer. I do a lot. I do a lot as an artist and entrepreneur. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into all of that.
Facts. So we like to dig into your upbringing.
Okay.
So you're from Memphis, Tennessee, correct?
That's right.
So let's get into your background. So tell us about how you was raised and, things that you went through going through as a adolescent growing up in Memphis, Tennessee. Just tell us about your background for the fans that might not know.
Okay. Well, I am from Memphis, Tennessee. I started dancing at the age of 3. I joined my first Majorette team when I was 5. Oh my goodness, I did ice skating, won my first gold medal when I was 6. My goodness, I've done a lot, guys. I started singing in church choirs, especially my home church, and then I was in a community choir. Um, I've done a lot. A proud honor student, part of my high school marching band, and then going into college, I became the majorette captain in college for 6 seasons, like the first to ever do that. And then, of course, studying entrepreneurship, started my own business, teaching baton twirling and dance throughout college, then graduating from college, getting into my record label and
Right.
starting that. So that's kind of where I am right now. That's where I am right now. I've done a lot of things in between that, but yeah, that's kind of the sum that whole thing of.
Got you. So, growing up in
Mm-hmm.
Memphis, were you raised with both parents in the household, or it was a single parent household? How was that?
It was single, but I grew up with my grandmother. I grew up with all my aunts, my mom, my cousins. So I was, well nurtured. You know what I'm saying? As far as family is concerned, family outings, holidays, reunions, gatherings, all of that. So
Okay. And growing up, what sparked your interest in dancing at the age of 5? What sparked that interest in dancing at the age of 5?
wow. Well, everybody knows, except for like new people, they don't know that I was inspired by MC Hammer. He's a rapper, pop entertainer, dancer, and I think the first time I saw him dancing, that was like all the inspiration I needed. Because I had never seen anyone dance like that. I mean, we see dancing because I did study ballet, but to see that at the age of 5, that was major, and it really set the tone, really set the tone for my life and set the tone for what I wanted to be. So yeah, and
So,
everything from that, I kind of mirrored that. Like most people that follow me and studied me, and actually, like if you can really see the inspiration in the performances when I had my own dance group and troops and things like that, you can see the inspiration there is heavy. You can see it.
got you. So, you started at the age of 5. Was you dancing all throughout elementary?
Yes. I danced the whole time. Well, first I was ice skating. It was short lived. I won,
Mm.
but I wanted to dance more than anything. And I remember my mom was like, "You got to make a choice." She didn't want me to stop ice skating. She was like, "No, you need to keep doing that." But she was like, "If you dance, you better not ever quit." She said, This is it." And I've been
So,
dancing ever since.
you had the support system there for your mom. So, what happened to your dad? Why wasn't he present?
I don't know. That's something I have to find out because I didn't think I cared about that part. I didn't really care about that. I was so focused and driven. I've been so focused since I joined the major time I was 5 years old. I've been focused on that and that only in school and things like that. I didn't worry about all of that. I had my aunts, I had my cousins, I had my grandmother and my mom. That was it. That's all I needed. No offense.
So, you basically had a great foundation of strong black woman in your
Yes,
life.
yes,
How
I
important was
did.
that having those people involved in your life, especially without your dad being there? How important was that for those people to support you throughout the course of your life, especially as an adolescent?
It was very important. It was a lot of times I was by myself, like going to my shows and maybe getting dropped off, then have, family in the audience and things of that nature. But as far as being at home, it was always, let me see your routine. Let me see what you're doing. Let me see you practice. Let me see you sing. And my grandmother, let me hear you sing something. And then, she
Mm.
even get into speaking. Let me hear you speak. Let me hear you preach. I had that support as far as the rehearsal and being at home, really. Now, my grandmother, they probably couldn't get to the shows, all the shows, but they made sure I practiced at home. They made sure I was prepared.
So how did that carry on to the present by them
Oh, it's
instilling that in you
oh yes,
to be
it's there.
consistent?
It's there. It's almost habitual. Like that's the only way I know. I know to rehearse. I know to be my best at all times. I know, put your all into it. I mean, that has carried me from elementary to high school to college into my professional career. So it's just the way it goes. This is how it is. I can't explain it. A lot of people didn't get this,
Right.
but I was drilled a lot. This was embedded. So I knew I was going to be an entertainer. I knew that. I didn't know whether it was going to be dance, music, or public speaking, or doing some other things, but I knew I would be out in the forefront and, had a great foundation.
So do you feel it's important for parents to embed those type of qualities in their kids while they're young
Yes.
so it can carry on into adulthood?
Yes, yes, I do. I do believe parents should support and embed those types of values and things like that into their children. And then, but you have to be consistent. You have to keep reminding children, so you have to keep reminding. And that's something I had. It was never over with. Like, even when I got to high school, I remember being outside. My mom get off work like 10 o'clock, and it's like, all right, we're going to start rehearsing. So then my aunts will come outside, they'll mess with me and tease me until I get it right or whatever I was doing. But it did not stop. It didn't stop just because I was in high school and more mature. No, you still got drilled. You still had to be out here and do it until you got it right. And that's the
Right.
same mentality that I carried into college and into my professional career.
So you was a majorette at Hamilton High School.
That's right.
So from your from your dancing from 5, which led into you being a majorette in high school, how did that play out in high school? Like, what led you into getting into that field as being a
Well,
majorette?
I've been doing it. I made the majorette team when I was 5, and then from there, becoming a captain as I graduated from elementary school. Then I became a majorette at the middle school and a community group. So I was on 2 squads at one time. And then when I got to high
Wow.
school, I was just in the high school band, and I was a majorette there. And then I stopped when I was in 11th grade and started working as a TV producer when I was in 11th grade. And then I went to TSU, Texas Southern, and then I became the captain of the majors there.
So you also was a pianist as well.
Hmm. I did a little
What
bit.
got you?
I did a little bit in high school. I really didn't start pursuing that part until like I got into college, studying music theory and things of that nature, and writing the music, composing music. That's when I got off into that part. But I knew a little bit in high school, just a little bit, because we had to take a
Okay.
class.
So so what schools did you go to in Memphis, Tennessee, from elementary to high school? So your fans can know.
So my fans. Okay.
So what
I
schools
went
did you
to
go to?
Stafford Elementary. That's more of like an optional type of school, and then Hamilton Middle, and then Hamilton High.
Okay. So at the high school, you went to Texas Southern
Texas
University, correct?
Southern. That is right. The real TSU, yes.
Got you. And you earned your bachelor's in entertainment certification in music business from Houston Community College as well,
Yes,
right?
yes. I went to Texas Southern first, and then I went
Okay.
to HCC, Houston Community College, and I got my music business certification at HCC. Then I went back to Texas Southern, and then I got my bachelor's in entertainment and the recording industry.
Man, so yeah, you on point. Most of these
Oh yeah,
artists, they don't know what's going on with the music
I
industry, so
know.
you knew
I
where you wanted to be and
Well,
go.
it took a
I can
while.
see that clearly.
It took a while. At first, I was going for entrepreneurship, and I'm not gonna lie, that I started studying Java, C++. I started doing a whole lot of other stuff because you know I was just inquisitive. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know more about about everything. I even was studying astrology and all. I was just a sponge at that time. I wanted to learn everything. But when it got
Right.
down to the end, I was like, okay, you want to do the
So
music, you want to do business. So let's study entertainment and the recording industry. Learn how to write your music better, learn theory, learn all
right.
these things so that you will, will ground it in this. So yeah, that's what I did.
So what made you become the captain of Ocean of Soul marching band?
You said what made me?
Yeah, become the captain.
Okay.
Cause it's
Well,
like you excelling at everything right now. Like,
oh
okay, you
yeah.
doing good in high school, you graduate, now you the captain. So, people, you're a natural born leader. So people have to listen to what you're saying. So
Sure.
how did you get in that position?
Well, that position was weird. I'm not gonna lie. That was how all that came about was very weird because at first I was at Spelman. Let's put that there. I was at Spelman. I did not like Spelman. So I ended up
Oh,
at
okay.
Texas Southern.
Right,
I didn't even apply to get into TSU. That's the crazy part. I never did it. I never heard of the school. I just received a letter like twice. I rejected the first letter and then they sent me another letter. And it was like, no, we want you to come to Texas Southern. So then I went to Houston, went to check it out, saw they had a band, and I was like, okay, well, let me just try out for this. It was nothing I had planned, anything, because I didn't twirl my senior year in high school. I didn't do any of that. I was in television by then. So I was like, let me just try. And when I went in, and they put us all on this thing called a chopping block. It was like 6 girls. And I made
right.
sure I was at the end. And the coach will call out a move to do. And if you couldn't do the move, you had to go home. Straight up, you
Mm,
didn't get no second chance. So it was one girl. Now she was good. She was cold, and the coach was like, "Let me see you do the raindrops." Now I didn't know what that was, but she was doing it with two hands, and I could do it with one, with two batons in my hand, just tossing and juggling like that. And she asked the girl, said, "Well, can you do it with one hand?" And she was like, "No." So they sent her packing, and then I ended up in the number one spot.
so you was a part of alumni. What alumni group were you actually a part of
What do you mean,
in college?
alumni? Are you talking about like the Phi Theta Kappa?
Right. Yes, that's the
Okay.
name of it. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yes. I
Okay.
am a member. Yes, of Phi Theta Kappa. I am an alumni now of Phi Theta Kappa. That is an honor society. You have to have like a 3.8 or above to be in it and to stay in it. So yeah, if you drop a little 3.8, you're on probation.
What?
Oh yeah, it's serious. Like it's nothing you pay to get in. It's like strictly grades and community service and all that stuff. So yeah, I was very
So
focused in college. I'm talking about even though I was twirling and dancing and doing all those things, I was still focused on my education. Period.
why why do you think it's important to be a part of alumni, and what draws you into that?
Well, I feel like that's where I belong. That's where I belong. I mean, being in circles with people you mesh well with, you vibe well with, people understand you, you understand them. That's just a great relationship. That's just a lifetime of friends, a lifetime of um, something that you can share with people like yourself. You could be
Right.
yourself, in circles like this. So, yes. And then it comes along, it may have perks and stuff down the line, but yeah.
Got you. Got you. Got you. So you also performed at the Super Bowl with Janet Jackson and Diddy. How did you?
Yes, I talked about this the other day actually to somebody. They were like, "Really? He did that?" Like, yes, yes. That was.
So how did that come about? Diddy. Right now,
I know,
he had
right?
a
I
lot of
don't know.
allegations on his name. We don't know if it's true or
Right?
not. But
I don't know. I
how was your
and again,
experience at the Super Bowl with Diddy and Janet Jackson? Did you have
it.
any encounters with them?
Uh-huh, yes. with Janet Jackson, Murphy Lee, Kid Rock, Kenny Olsen. He was Kid Rock's guitarist at the time. Um, There was a lot of other entertainers there, like Justin Timberlake, Nelly, then Diddy, of course. But that whole
Right.
experience was it was big. I think the first few days I was kind of stunned, and then after that I was like, okay, we're here. You know, this is normal. But I think I felt great about my family seeing it,
Right.
because it's one thing to you grew up in a house with my aunts and everybody supporting me, but in the back of sometimes in the back of others' minds they may think like, oh, she's just out there doing with boo, or she's just in school. But then to see the moves that I was making, they had to be proud. And my mom, I remember, she told me after they had a whole Super Bowl party, they had my pictures and stuff like that, like taped onto like different Super Bowl things. Like it was
Right.
crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, that was the
That's
best
amazing.
part, is my family seeing it and seeing me, right there in that moment. That was the most important to me.
So, what was the thing that you learned the most, especially for being around that much talent? When it comes to your music profession, seeing them set up and what
Oh
goes in
yeah,
a performance. Like, what did you learn from being around all that greatness?
be serious. Be serious at all times. Not saying that you can't have fun, but when you're in a setting like that, everything's about timing. Because I remember when it ended, and the way they had to break that field down, the way I had to run from the field all the way to the parking lot, like they had to get all of that stuff off the field. So one thing you learn about is about being on time, being serious about your craft, and that's pretty much what I got from that. Because I was already a serious, artist and dancer and everything. I'm serious about my business and my craft. But being amongst those entertainers, basically just being professional, being professional.
Right, right. And you also are in the fashion, as you can see right now. Um, so let's talk about the Dodge Dress Houston annual fashion expo that you attended to. How did you become a part of that event?
Okay. So being a majorette, being a majorette opened a lot of doors for me,
Right,
and it was like my segue into getting into music. So being a dancer and entertainer, I started a group called Majors Meets Drum Majors, and this is the group that I started. And Matthew knows, he kind of not ushered it in, but it was more so like approved, and that really kind of boosted me up a little bit, made me feel like, oh, I got something, and then with that recognition and with his like kind of approval, it opened up doors like NBA games, my goodness, the Mercedes Benz fashion shows, things of that nature. So yeah, that's how I got into all of that. And then the people from American Idol, they're the ones that was over it. So that's how I got into that. And then I started singing in the shows when I was supposed to just dance. But then I started singing, doing cover songs in those shows, just putting it out there a little bit at a time, you know.
right,
And then eventually I got into the ones we did at Fiesta. Like if you live in Houston, Fiesta is a big store. It's a big grocery store down there, whatever. And when they start putting it there, I started singing. I started adding the singing to the dancing and building from there. So yeah.
that was smart. That was very
Oh
smart.
yeah, I
So,
didn't just shove it down. No, I put a little bit at a time, just
right,
a little
right.
bit. So
You can see the growth with your career. Now, I wanted to get into, how you also give back to the community. So, with the dance and stuff, you do choreography
yes.
you did choreography for over 3,000 children
Hmm.
in the
Yes.
city of Houston. What
Houston
drove you
and
into giving back to your community? Like, that's dope. Like, and working with the
it's the
kids.
majorette. It's the major. I'm telling you, being a majorette changed. my whole everything. Like I didn't know that it would lead to a lot of different opportunities. It was just something I really loved to do. But it was so many doors that opened and so many people I've got to work with, so many children. And I mean, from the ages of 2, I would do private lessons. And then, like, one of my oldest students was like 92. But at that
Wow.
point, yeah, like, cause everybody, I mean, I didn't know, like in Memphis, it's not that big, but in Houston, it's very serious. That baton
Right.
twirling and made it so serious down there. Like, it's too serious, but it paved the way for me, and it allowed me to be in a space that I love. I could be myself and really give, really give. So
Right.
yeah,
That's dope. So, do you feel like Texas is a second home?
yes, yes. Well, almost the first, but I'm gonna say yes, second.
Right.
Cause
Right.
I
So,
mean, that was like turning over a new leaf. It was like getting a new leash on life. Like, um, it was everything to me. Like anybody that interviewed me or anybody that asked me, Houston was like starting over from leaving Memphis and then building a name, building business and relationships. It was everything. It was everything to me. It was the perfect thing, the perfect situation. I look back, maybe some days I didn't think this was the best move, but now that I look back and I really think about that thing, it's like, no, that was the best move. That was, you know, you followed your gut, you followed it, no questions asked, and that's just how it went.
so let's talk about your performance at halftime with Harlem Globetrotters. How
Okay,
did that come about?
Majorette.
Man.
Major. I'm telling you, Major is the answer to
Right.
everything.
Right.
But at the
So, how
time,
did they
I had
find you? Like, how did they go about finding the talent? Like, how did they even suggest you? Like, what happened? Like,
okay. Well, it was
what's
in the. I
the
think this the
backstory?
we were on the brink of COVID. I think that's when COVID just started, and they were in Houston because they was on tour. So they was in Houston, though I was back in Memphis at the time. But
Right.
my coach, my twirling coach, Doris Keener, she was like, "Well, we got to do the Harlem Globetrotters game." She's like, "Brande, we want to use your song One More Chance," and then I was like, "What?" And then they wanted my other song, Strip. And I was like, well, I need to be there. And she's like, yeah, you do, but I don't know if you're going to be able to do it because, it's COVID. How you going to travel with the boo? I rented a car and
Yeah.
I got down there to the game. I got down there and we did the mix. I did my solo. I opened the show. I opened the halftime. And then after that, I started my singing. I started doing the rapping while everybody else was dancing and performing. And then after that, I met up with the Harlem Globetrotters. We take pictures, do all of this stuff like that, sign autographs, and do all that. And then that was that. That was
Okay. Okay. That's dope.
that.
So, who is the Young Actors Guild? What is that?
That's an organization here in Memphis that focuses on theater performance, like children's growth in the industry. So yeah, but I'm no longer doing that anymore. But that was a big part when I got back to Memphis. So yes.
Now, this is something that surprised me. Well, I'm not surprised, but you are the author of "I Want to Be a Majorette."
Yes.
Uh,
What's good, y'all? It's your girl Pinterest, and I just want to give a big shout out to Golden Money Team Marketing. Y'all make sure y'all get at them for all promo services, all marketing services, the whole nine, media, all that. Make sure y'all tell them that your girl Pinterest sent you.
children's book.
Yes.
What
Yes,
got
I am.
you into? I
I'm
know it don't
tell
surprise me
you.
because you already a natural writer as an artist. But what got you in the children's book? And you also wrote it about your passion being a majorette.
That's right.
What's the backstory
Because
on that?
because when I got back to Memphis, Major Ed was the thing that carried me through. it taught me so much about being a lady, being graceful and smiling and having core values. And when I got back to Memphis, I realized how so much changed when it came to this particular sport. So when I started writing the book, I was like, I need to tell it the way it really happened, and I hope that it inspires, the younger generations, the children, to try this, to try to follow the path, or at least spark their interest in the sport. And then I dedicated their book to the library that's in my old neighborhood, which is South Memphis. So I dedicated the book to that particular library, and with the hopes that kids or young girls will come in and see it and read it and see themselves in it, and hopefully, try to pursue. So that's how
That's
that
dope.
happened. That's how that happened.
So you are an actor as well, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
bring it. Okay,
Oh
bring
yeah.
it.
Now that wasn't
Explain that
acting.
role.
That's a reality show. I was not acting. I don't think nobody's acting on this.
Okay,
But
okay. That's what
it's
that
straight
was.
reality.
Yeah.
Um,
How can we find that? Where we can watch that
unfiltered
on?
Lifetime. Like you can go back and watch the reruns and things like that on Lifetime if you have a Lifetime app or Roku, whatever the case. I think they even have their own channel on Roku.
Right,
So yeah, but I did do Bring It. I
right.
twirled with the Tigerettes, a Prince of Tigerettes with Quincy Oliver. I did do that particular episode. It was the competition, the Summer Jam competition. It was very much drama filled and and different.
Right.
But yeah, but I enjoyed it. I learned about reality TV, cameras. I learned real quickly about a few things. But other than that, it was a great experience all around. So yeah.
So with reality TV, do you think some people try to be a little extra when they on TV?
Oh yeah.
Since y'all was competing, like, was
Yeah,
there any
yeah.
drama? Like,
Of
what was actually
course.
going on
It
set?
was a lot going on. I mean, okay, so when you're in competition, it's always heated. Not all competition is like, oh, okay, guys, good luck. No, nobody's wishing anybody good
Right.
luck. Like, no, it's like we're winning, you're losing. Don't cheat us, or we're gonna pop off. That was like the whole attitude of that summer jam. So now me, I
Mm,
was just there to really, I was like watching it, like, because I've seen the shows and the different seasons on television, but then being in it was like, y'all really out here acting. Okay, so, y'all cutting up. So I did
right.
my job and I got out of the way, But yeah, but it was fun. Drama.
Got you. Got you. So, Sun Records, was that another show that you was in?
Hmm. Yes, I did a little
So
extra work.
describe that one.
That was, I think it was about Elvis Presley, like Sun Records. It was about recording, but I was in the part of it where you get to see the distinction between blacks and whites. During that time, it was like a lot of racial tension and things like that. So in that particular show, I was just doing like extra work. I wasn't speaking or doing anything like that. It was just me getting started. I had just moved back to Memphis, and then I hopped right into acting, like being an extra and being on the set and things of that nature. So yeah, it was basically me getting myself back in the groove. So yes.
Oh, okay. And then you acted in Bluff City. What was that about?
Mhm. Same thing. It was about racial, because like I mean the Memphis history, but different sitcoms, they come to Memphis to try to capture that essence. Because downtown have like a vintage look. They try to use that to reflect on those time periods or whatnot. But it's the same thing. Extra work. Actually, that was a little bit more fun, because we
So
were
they
out in the
needed that
street. I knew
melon.
people there at that time. Like it was interesting because it was fight and fire and everything, like rioting and things of that nature. So that was
Right.
pretty cool to be a part of that. So yeah. Hey y'all.
Yeah, I was saying they needed that black melon in the
They
movie for sure.
did. They had a
Because
lot
ain't
of
nowhere in hell they gonna pull that off.
oh yeah, they had a lot. You so funny. That's
So
funny.
you was nominated Best Lyricist at the Mary Jane Music Awards.
In Mississippi.
Okay, so that notoriety for being the best lyricist, what did that do to you as an artist? Did that drive you? Like, how did that go?
Mm. That was kind of odd. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of odd because sometimes, now I'll be honest, sometimes we don't think that others think of us the way that we think of ourselves. And when I won that award, I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie because there was a lot of rappers in the room, and normally that goes for a rapper, but in R&B, and sometimes we don't get the recognition that we deserve. But that night I did, and I was very honored by that, and I was proud of that. And I mean, it keeps me going. I mean, whether you win or lose, you should still
Right.
have motivation to do what you need to do. But it did kind of give me a little push right there. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's dive into the music.
Okay.
So you got Baddie Boss and Bougie.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
These were the two songs that launched your career. How
Oh, and I was
impactful was
nervous.
it? Huh?
I said, and I was nervous.
Oh, okay, okay. So how impactful was those two songs for you in your career?
The Baddie Boss was my first EP, and then Bougie was my first single. And I was extremely nervous because no one
Right,
knew. No one knew what I was doing. Everybody thought I was still twirling around, and then of course I was
right,
at Houston Community College in Texas Southern, putting on college shows. I was president of MISA, so I was that person you came to if you need a show. I was booking artists, managing artists. I was doing a whole lot at that time. So to have my music coming out, that was like a different take right there because people respect you for whatever they see you do first. So if you saw me twirling and dancing, that's what you knew me for. That's what you respected me. If you respected me as a booking manager and all those things, that's all you saw. So when you saw that music come out, it could have been like, what's going on? What you trying to do now? I don't know about this. So I had so many different feelings and so many. Oh my God, I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, but I did it because I was like, you know what, I can do this. I really can do this. I mean, not just saying because everybody else is doing it, but I have a passion because I love to sing when I was a child, but it slowly got taken away. I threw it to the back and I just danced and, things of that nature. But I kind of went back into that field and was like, what, just do it. I mean, what they gonna do to you? Like, just
facts.
do it.
And by
So
you
I
being in
did
front
it.
of everybody, my bad. Yeah, you did it. What you were saying?
Oh no, that was it.
Yeah, so I was thinking like by you being in front of all these people, I don't see where the nervousness came from. What actually caused you to be nervous? Because it was something different.
Yes, like they didn't know me like that. Like in Memphis, some people knew me for music because I was in choirs, show choirs, gospel choirs, my church choir. I was in that. But when I went to Houston, they didn't know I had that. They didn't know. They just knew I was a dancer, entertainer as far as twirling and being on that 50-yard line, putting on shows and twirling fire and all this stuff. They knew me in that. They knew me that way. And then when I went to HCC, that's when the music stuff started coming in. So they still didn't know I was into music. They just knew I loved business. So, but music is personal, even though they say it shouldn't be, but it is personal.
It
And
is.
that's a whole nother level of you getting to know me. You already got to know me as far as dancing and performing, but now to hear what I have to say is different because being a majorette, you don't talk, you just dance, you just twirl. But now I'm speaking it, I'm singing it, I'm rapping it, I'm doing all of this, and that's different. That's a whole nother level.
Yeah, that is. That is. So you followed up with Murder Dress. What was the
Yeah.
concept behind that song, and what was your thought process when you was creating Murder Dress?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, At Texas Southern, they call me the Assassin. That was my twirling name, my band name. I'm the Assassin because I'm out here killing it.
Right.
So when I came up with the murder dress, that's where that comes from. I know y'all was probably like, Brande, really? That's all it was? Yes, it was. But actually, that was one of my best selling, one of my most streamed songs at that time, and even still today, it gets some streams here now. But I got other music going on now. But at that time, it was about my majorettes. And then I had the majorettes, the bad bees, and that's how I
Mm-hmm.
promoted the song. We went to different schools and performed. We went to different functions and performed that particular song because I had a whole line of majorettes with me. We did Battle of the Bands. We were doing Cinco de Mayo, uh, special guests. I mean, we're doing everything with the murder dress. So yeah, because they can relate because they're a majorette. No, so I'm telling y'all that being a majorette is top tier.
Right.
It's top tier.
I see that opened a lot of doors for you as
It
well.
has. I promise. I promise it has. It's crazy.
All right. So you dropped the debut album, Finger Waves and
Yes.
Cupcakes.
Mhm. Yeah. It did not come out the way I wanted, but it was okay. It was supposed to be
So,
a double disc, but
okay.
I did not get everything I wanted. Trying to find a engineer at the time that wanted to take the project on because there was a lot of work. A double disc,
Right.
and basically the songs were the same songs. It was just different versions. So the rap song was supposed to be an R&B version. Every song was supposed to be the opposite, but I just ended up merging and creating like an EP. So yeah, because I wasn't gonna stop. I was like, all right, I don't want to do it. All right, this crew, I'm gonna keep going anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then you followed up with B Academy. I believe
Oh yeah.
that was in a musical.
Yes, it's a ghetto high school musical. B Academy. Oh my goodness, that that's a body of work for real, and it also has
Right.
a script and all that with it as well. So basically, it's me merging my theater background and my music and my acting all in one. So if you do listen to the B Academy, you'll get to hear the acting, you'll feel the story being told, and then you can see it on a live stage. Like you can see it if you actually listen to it, listen to the skits. It's a skit after every song, so that you can kind of follow this movie. So
Oh, okay. 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 And then you got Countryman. You being in Texas and Memphis. You
yeah,
know,
I hit it early. They're just now on it now, but I did it a long time ago. But it was pretty
got
cool.
you.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, I was a little before my time. I was before the time because right now everybody is trying to hop on that bandwagon. I'm like, well, I already did it. So I'm
Right.
just
That
sticking to what I'm doing right now, staying focused on what I'm promoting now. So yeah, I'm not even worried about it. Letting them do what they do.
I see as an artist, you're not trying to be in a box. You're really doing everything. How important do you feel it is not being kept in one box as an artist and being able to excel in different categories?
Well, I don't
Stop playing. Yes, it's D Black. But check this out. You want to be fresh, hot, cool like D Black? Well, I suggest you work with Golden Money Team Marketing. They'll put you out, they'll keep you out, and they'll keep the ball rolling. All you need to do is hit that link somewhere around here. Stop playing. Bye.
don't think it's something that I'm doing strategically. I think it's just who I am. It's just who I am.
Mm,
I follow my heart a lot. I follow my mind. I try my best to make sure I'm doing what I want to do and make sure it feels good. Make sure I do. Now, I do have a plan when it's time to, market and things of that nature. But as far as being in a box, no. No, there's no need to be in a box. It's so much going on out here. So many people accept all styles of music and genres. There's no need for it. That's my opinion. It's my opinion. There's no need.
facts.
Do what you feel. Time is short. Do what you feel.
So Now let's get into Bad B. Certified. So you had 300,000 plus streams on this
Yeah, that's
song.
the Bad Be certified. Yeah.
What was it that you feel what caused this song to hit that peak?
That album was very, it still is very near and dear to me. I did not hold back on that. I didn't tiptoe. I didn't think about anything about, like how others would feel or anything. And I really think that is what made that album really go like that. It was relatable. I had dance songs on there. I had a little R&B, wasn't too much R&B, a lot of hip hop, but I was true. I was true to myself. And I think that's what really did it, because those first two projects I had, I was just in the studio. I didn't really know. I was just in there having fun, but it sounded good. But I was just having fun, kind of. But that Bad Be certified after life. I went through a lot of things in life, and that's kind of like that's what came out. And I recorded that album 5 times because I was recording at different studios, and every time it got to the point of the mixing and the mastering, I didn't like it. It was like people didn't care. They were just doing stuff. Forget it, scrap it, start again. I went to another studio and recorded, and then went to another studio and recorded. And finally I got to one, and I just had to roll with it because I had to go back to Houston to do halftime shows for the Houston
Right.
Rockets. So it really still could have been better. But I had to go on. I already did it 5 times. I got to go. I got to move on. So, mixing and having people who really not mixing it, and they trying to sabotage the music. They do other people's stuff good, but then when it come to yours, it's like whatever. So,
Right. Right.
I'm just like, give me what you got. Come on, let's go. And because I remember one night it got rowdy in there, and I was on one that night. I was very upset that night because my stuff wasn't ready. I had to get back on the road, and I had to pop off a little bit, but it got done.
And that's something that people don't understand. That's where artists spend a lot of money at, especially when you have people saying they have a skill set and you see their work, but they don't put the effort into your project as they do the same as other people's projects. Especially
I
some of these
agree.
big studios, they have these big artists come in and you'll hear they sound, but then when it comes to your sound, you like, man, it
Right,
don't
this a
sound
red.
nothing like that.
Like, you ain't even mixed this. This one even mixed. Oh my god,
Facts,
I've been through
facts,
that.
facts.
I've been through that. So, but obviously the writing was good on the album. The concept was good enough. It went like that, 300,000 plus. Like, come on now. Like, it had to be, something about it, because it sure wasn't the me. Because I remember I went
Yeah.
to Atlanta to High 107, and they played my song Shake Jump Walk on the radio. And when they played it, people liked it, but the DJ, he was like, "We need a better mix. You need a better mix. I don't want to play it." Da, 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 da. I said, "Well, I'm 6 hours from Atlanta," and I said, from the time I drove to Atlanta, I had 25,000 streams from the time I left Memphis till I got to Atlanta. And he was like, "What? For real?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I showed him on my phone, and he was like, "I can't believe that." I said, "Believe it." And
Believe
then
it.
I got in contact with, I'm trying to see this guy. He engineered Nas music. He lived in New Jersey, and he redid the song for me so that I could send it back to Hot 107 so that they will feel better about playing it. So I
So
got
you
somebody
still
else to
had the
mix it.
session then. You
Hmm.
still had the session for the
Yes, I
song
did.
when
Oh,
you
of
recorded.
course.
That's
Oh, of
important.
course. It just
Artists
needed
need to know
mixing.
that.
Oh yes, you
Yes, artists.
gotta have it. You gotta have
Make
it.
sure you do not leave that studio without the session. You need those files so you could go back. If you need to create different type of formats of the song,
Right,
you could do that.
right. Because
If you want a
I had
clean
it.
version,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
And he
That was
redid it.
smart.
It sounded so much better. And then I sent it back, and then there you have it. So, but that was the only one I got. That's the only one I did because that was the one. That was the song that was the most popular, and that's the one that people like. The Shake Jump Walk. So, yeah.
Now let's get in. I got one more.
Okay.
BANDAID love. Oh my goodness! Like the only thing I be hearing BANDAID love. I'm like,
Right.
ooh. Like I hear that, I'm like, boy, I'm feeling that. Like, boy, but whoever this nigga was, boy, hey, boy, they done messed up the whole bag. So was this based on a true story? Like, let's get into this one. Let's get into the juice.
It's a
So let's get into the juice now.
conglomerate of experiences, and
Yeah.
then my own and my friends is like
Okay.
I'm an observer a lot of times, and I'm a listener
Right.
a lot of times, and then putting my own feelings into it because sometimes people ask me like, okay, the BANDAID love, is this just about a relationship with a guy, or is this like just your friends, like is this your family? I tell people all the time, however you can relate to it because we
Yeah.
all have this. We all have people who just really don't care about what we're going through, and then they'll try to act like they care about what we're going through, and they just want to throw a band-aid on the wound. And really sometimes we need to go talk about those things, but the BANDAID love really is me stepping out because that's a song that's on the Headaches and Heartbreaks project, and that whole project is about being heartbroken and just being distraught, but the BANDAID love, it
I'm
took a
feeling that song.
lot of work, and I had great production, great
Yeah.
engineering, like everything. Like you can hear from my very first release to that, you can hear the difference. You can hear the growth. You can hear, okay, somebody cared. Somebody's caring about what's going on here,
Right.
So yeah. And then it has all the different versions that's on it. So we didn't leave that part out. The fact that I'm not just in one box. But the BANDAID love, simply about cheap love. People really ain't got time no more. They just want what they want, and that's it. And then they don't really care nothing about what you got going on, or you for that matter. They'll put a BANDAID on and snatch it off and go put it on somebody else.
Right.
That song can really go deep. It can really go deep. It can go into family. It can go into so much. Whatever you grab from that. So yeah.
Got you. So let's get into relationships. Talk about a relationship. So by you being a strong black woman out here, what are you looking for? Like, what type of attributes are you looking for in a man? Like, what do you want a man to bring to the table? So we can know what we doing wrong, what we need to bring to the table when we dealing with a strong woman. What do we need to bring to the table? Like, what's the most important thing that you look for?
Honesty, work ethic, and love. Like this, I'm not one of them.
Right.
Like how you saying I'm very independent, I'm strong. I'm more strong. I'm strong, and I know what I want, and I am driven. But that's not, a lot of things, like a lot of other women, I'm very different. I'm so different because I have my own table. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not needy like that. No offense to people who are, doing all that and gold digging and all that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Honesty, work ethic, and true love. That's it. All I want. That's it.
Simple.
I think that's what women. I think that's what a real woman wants. Look.
Man, we might have to start tapping in with these Southern women, man. Hey.
I think I don't want to say just social media, but I just think a lot of times women got a lot of stuff kind of messed up. You should have something for yourself. You should have something for yourself before you trying to go be in front of some dude's face and be all you should have something going for yourself.
Right.
You should be able to take care of yourself. That's just me.
Facts, and that for a man too,
It's just what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah,
You
that's
should
that's
want
true
something
what you're
for
saying. You should
yourself.
be able to do things for yourself, and then, depending on, what goes on, because life do have its curveballs.
Yes,
As long as
life
you're trying to
does.
grow, you're not staying stagnant, and you're trying to do something with yourself. Most definitely, I can support that. But if you're sitting
Yeah, we
around,
all have things now. I don't want to come up like I'm just cold hearted. No, it's not. I'm not cold hearted at all. The thing
right,
is, life happens, and that's true. But when life happens, you still have to have that tact. You still have to have that go getter. We don't always want to go to work every day. We always gonna be. Sometimes you just want to keep your feet up and boo to boo. But at the end of the day, you got to get the bills paid. You got to make sure food is on the table.
facts,
So you got to do what you got to do, and that's it. If you
big
do that,
facts.
you'll find the one. Just take care of yourself. That was my post the other day. Take care of yourself, and
Okay,
it'll come together. It'll come together for you.
I just have a few more questions. You feel
Okay,
me?
go
Then we'll
ahead.
wrap it up.
Okay,
I'm feeling this interview
sure.
though for sure.
Oh,
So
okay.
do you?
Yeah, it is pretty good, huh? Look.
Yeah, I mean, you really got a life story, so we had to dig into that
Oh,
for sure. So, do you consider yourself to be multi-dimensional
meaning, because that could mean a lot of different things. So, meaning,
when it comes to your music?
yes, yes. Like I was saying earlier, I do what I feel. Um, whether that's hip hop, R&B, whether it's soul, whether rock, whatever have you. I do what I feel because, for one, I'm free. I'm free to do what I want. I'm free to make the music that I want when I want, and that's something I'm very proud of.
Right,
Nobody's telling me what I gotta do and how I gotta do it, and I'm just so blessed to have listeners and fans that's streaming the music, whether I promote it or not. And I'm blessed right there. I'm blessed right there. So yes.
that's true. That's true.
Hey,
So, how
Al.
do you deal with people who doubt you?
How do
How do
I
you
deal
deal with
with
those
people
type?
that doubt me?
Yeah.
I don't. They got to deal with me. You know what I'm saying?
I
Man, let
wasn't
me tell you
expecting that
something.
answer, but hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, they got to deal with me because I don't worry about that. I'm not gonna lie. I have had my share of like,
Right,
why y'all don't want to, why y'all don't want to share the music? Why you not da da da? Man, look, when I started seeing my streams and started checking my analytics and things of that nature, I gave up on it. I was like, what's the point? What's the point of me worried about people that's doubting me? I need to worry about the people that's spinning this music, and I need to worry about the people that's sharing and streaming and all that. Those are the people I need to be worried about. So, but it's not easy. It's
facts.
still not easy to see like my friends or see people I know how they just skip over stuff. They may keep scrolling or, hey, share my music. They still won't do it. It's all good. It's all good. They don't
Right.
need me before I need them anyway. So yeah.
I like that
that's how
confidence for
that's how
sure.
you have to think like that, or you'll be balled up in a corner somewhere.
Simba Shah, now Go to Money Team Marketing. If you need any advice on how to market yourself, just go to Money Team all the way. Let's cook.
So, my next question is, who were the people who inspired you to do music?
Mm. I would say MC Hammer, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Lil Kim, um, Missy Elliott made up a little bit. That's about it.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a few of the greats,
I mean, I was
the greats.
just gonna say, everybody you name is great in their own way, and they
Yeah.
were successful in the industry. So
Mm-hmm.
you could take from everybody. So, what are your 5 top artists in the industry from
Like current,
then, whenever, from then to now? Your top 5. Let me get your top 5 artists.
Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. Hmm.
Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. That's 2.
Mm-hmm. I would have to say, of course, Hammer. I love him. Like this, everything. um,
Nobody names MC Hammer.
really, but
I
I
never
do.
heard.
Really,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's because
yeah.
he
I
was
never
dead.
heard nobody name MC
Like
Hammer.
most people didn't. They probably didn't respect it, but you gotta respect it. Dude was killing when he was killing it. He was killing it.
He was making money.
Yeah, like for real.
Sure, he was
Like for
making
real, for
money.
real.
I mean, he
Um,
changed the game though. If you
of
really
course,
think about it.
of course.
But
I would
nobody
say,
dancing and stuff and doing
oh
all that
no.
stuff like how he was doing.
Mm-mm. But when I started my group, that's how it was there. If y'all
Right.
go check out this on my YouTube, it's still there, the Cinco de Mayo, it's all in there. You'll be like, yup, she living that life, like yup. But
To check that
I would
out.
say
That's in the link
Tupac.
in your bio.
It's on my YouTube, Brande Patrice.
Oh, okay. You said so. You got Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, MC Hammer, and you just said Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
four. So who would be the last one to fill in that slot?
Um, man, there's so many people. And I'll say Outkast.
Outkast.
Yep. I
That's
know that's
dope.
so like I know that's all over the place. Like all them people like, how did we get here? All in one conversation. But yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So I like to ask people this, all my guests this when they come on the show.
Okay.
Um, what do you value more, morals or money, and why?
Morals.
Why
Morals,
is that?
man. Because at the end of the day, I always have that. I always have that. It could get me into doors. Sometimes that money can't. Me being a genuine person, I can get you, you know what I'm saying, in rooms that sometimes money can't. And just being true and being a person of value, a person that, a stand up person, genuine, all those things. Like, you will make it further. I mean, yeah, you're going to make it far with the money, but the integrity, all of those things, they will carry you throughout life, even when you have no money. It could
Facts.
get you places. So, yeah.
Facts. And another question I like to ask all my guests that come on the show:
Okay.
what comes first in your life? Money, power, and respect, and explain why in each order.
um, Respect.
Mm, why is that?
Demanded. I don't know.
You know,
But
respect
I
is
have
a
a lot
big
of
word.
it
You know,
is like being respected means a lot to me. Especially being like an advocate and things like that, working with so many different people, working in different industries. Respect is very big because I mean you have to be great. You have to be great at what you're doing. People will respect you for what you're doing if you're doing it, but then there goes the morals, the values, things of that nature. All that ties in right there. And then I would most definitely say, I would say money.
why is that?
Because
Money
you
before
gotta have it.
power.
Because you had the money, you had the power. You know what I'm saying? You had the power. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have that money. Like you gotta get the bag. You gotta have it because
Right.
it's only in this time. It's like it's only so much. It's only so far you can go without it. Yeah, you may have values and morals and respect and all those things, but you still gotta have that money. You still gotta have it
Facts.
to get it to
Facts.
some other things. So yeah, and then of course then power. But that's
So
only because they probably, that's only because people probably just want to be in your company or they want to be in your space. So they'll make you feel like they're giving you the power and making sure you can do all these things. But whatever, whatever.
nah, I like that. I like that. Everybody answer is different.
Oh, okay.
So how did you come up with your artist name, and how does it apply to your life, and what does your artist name mean to you?
Well, that is my name. That's my name. It's the name my mama gave
Right,
me.
right,
But
right, right.
I
So
did have
that's
to
your
fight for
actual
that. I
name.
had to fight for my name. I know that sounds crazy, but that is my name in real life. That's my first name. But I did have an incident where someone tried to say they named me and they were gonna sue me for that. So I ended up getting my
What?
name trademarked. Yes, crazy. Ended up getting my name trademarked, um, so that they couldn't. And just it was a whole thing because at first I was going by Brandy, and they was like, well, we already have a Brandy, Brandy Norwood. So then I was like, well, Brandy Patrice, put the middle name on it. And somebody was like, well, I said it first. I said that first. I named you. Oh, I'm gonna sue this. That was I came up with that. Da, da, da. So I stood right in my kitchen and
Right.
trademarked my name right there on the spot, right there on the phone. I did it right there.
I mean, that's so confusing to me. You can see the dumbfounded look on my face.
Yeah.
How you
And I said,
came
so
up
you was
with
in
a
I said, so
name
you
that
was
my
in the
mama
hospital with my
came up
mom.
with?
Right, I said, so you was in the
Yeah,
hospital with my mom. Ah, okay. Okay,
like that don't
whatever.
make no
It
sense. But
but
most definitely,
but it made me go the extra mile, go
yeah.
ahead and trademark the name before I even did any of those things that I was telling you. So it was like trademark the name, and I was good from there. But it was weird. I was in a weird time right there. People was trying to manage me. People were wanting to, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I say no, they got upset. People be trying to stalk you. Like it's crazy.
What?
It's crazy.
Damn.
Oh yeah. Like I think when you're a promising talent or things like that, people be fighting over you sometimes to want to work with you and things like that. And then it get out of hand. You be like, no, I'm good. I don't need I don't need you to help me. Da da da. They get offended. I'm telling you, it's rough. You gotta file police reports. It goes there.
That's crazy. So especially by you being a female, people, they think they could take advantage of you, and then they encounter these other females that's out there that's
They going.
that'll do anything for fame.
They're
They think
going.
they could try anybody.
They're going,
Right,
and
right,
I'm
right,
not.
right,
For
right,
one, I'm
right,
smart.
right,
For one, I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror because it's like I know this, I know the ins and outs, things of that nature. That some things I just can't do. I can't even live with myself. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
right. I mean, I make the sacrifices that I need, but I ain't
Right,
sacrificing my
right,
family. I ain't
right.
doing all. I
It's
ain't
too much.
sacrificing my body.
It's
I'm not
too
doing
much.
none of that.
Now, I love
Not for no
my
fame.
freedom. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
my freedom. I ain't
I
gonna lie
mean,
to
if
you.
anything, like you said, you can use your business degree. You could establish your own.
Well, I do.
What you doing?
I mean, that's what I'm releasing my music under Brande Entertainment and the Brande Music Group. I have those companies in place. So, I'm just doing what I do. Doing what I do, and I'm having fun with it. And that's it. I can't ask for more. I mean, it's more I want to do, but as of right now, that's where I am, and I'm loving it.
Right, 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 right. So, why do you feel it's important to have ownership of your music after going through that and seeing how grimy people could be? Because it's
Oh
a nasty
yeah,
game. Like,
that's
was
why
that
I
a
got a
friend that
habit.
did? I'm curious now. Was that a friend that did that to
No,
you? That was somebody you
it was
know,
it was
or
somebody.
a
Okay,
complete stranger?
you remember I was telling you I had a dance group that Majorette, Miss Drum Major, the BANDAID.
Yeah.
It was a person that auditioned for my group and they didn't make it. So from not
Oh, that
making it,
makes sense. That makes sense.
that created a little tension. But then they came back and like, well, can I work with you on the business side? And I was like, well, nah, because I followed my first mind. I'm like, nah, I don't feel too good. And I had a lot of people in my ear too, more so like, nah,
Right.
Brandy, that ain't, they on some scamming type of, nah, don't do that, Brandy. Don't. And I'm like, okay, big. So, but then
Right.
they tricked me. I got a
Mm.
booking at a club to dance and sing with the Bad Bees or whatever. And I thought it was coming from the owner of the club. But the person like impersonated that and booked me for
What?
a show. Look. And then it was a lot of different layers right there happened where it was like I got paid, but then the money they used the way they used to pay me was stolen, da 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 da. And I never wanted to like deal. I didn't know I was dealing with that person at the time until they came out with it. And it was like, nah, that was me that booked you. I'm like, so you
Oh,
just gonna
so
force me to do business. You just gonna
they was on some devious shit, boy. They was really
And then I went and did my album release. I did my murder dress release party, and then they was calling the club like, "Don't let her in the club. She's a bad influence. Don't let." I have stories, man. Like it's just like, but then I
wow.
remember, it got to the point it was like threatening my life, all that type of stuff. Then we calling the police, like filing reports and everything. And then I got club owners and promoters like they saying, Brande, what's your manager? I said, my manager's standing right here. So how's my manager calling you? He's standing right here. And it was like, with somebody on the phone pretending to be your manager, and they're trying to say, don't let you do da da da. I'm like, it's just
Man,
a lot. It be a lot
that's
going on, but I just hold it
some
down. I've been
crazy
holding
stuff.
it down. I've been holding
Yeah.
it down. People don't even.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Mr. D Love, and I just wanted to come and give a special shout out to the Golden Money Team Marketing. Trust me, if you're looking for any type of marketing, whether it's music, media, anything along those lines, hit them up, follow them. They're going to get you right. I promise you that. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Ask me about the behind the scenes a lot of times and things I've gone through like that, but I hold it down. I show no signs. I keep moving, and that's that. I don't
Man,
dwell on it too long. I keep going.
facts. I'm from the street. That's why it's Street Dialogue Podcast, because
Oh
we
yeah.
look at things from a total different perspective, man.
Oh
Everybody got
yeah. It
different type
go
of
there.
outlooks on life, but yeah,
Oh
you
yeah.
gotta have that balance, the street with the book smart. So I
Oh
know
yeah.
you probably wanted to drag her, boy. Like
Yeah, it was a guy.
she
It
was
was a
out of.
guy.
It was a dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he was one of them.
It was one of
One of them
them. One of
stalkers.
them.
Then okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of
So
them.
yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, you got to file all the paperwork, all that stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
he really wanted to work. I guess he wanted to work with me, da 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 da. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm good, no. And it just went. Sometimes people don't want to take no for an answer. They don't want to take no for an answer. So
Right.
I've done what they call that. I done forgot the protective orders and all that stuff. I can't think right now. My brain is not.
Like a stay away order.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because I still
Yeah,
had to perform. I was traveling. I was touring, so I could not put my flyers up. I had to keep promoting. So now you know where I'm gonna be.
you
All
gotta protect your stuff for sure.
right. So yeah, that was a time right there. That was a time. Oh my goodness, that was
Man,
a
I know
time.
that's a crazy experience. Like, man, but that's how people get set up. You
Right.
have people book them. Next thing you know, you go on to a show, and you got people that don't like you there, and
Mm-hmm.
they end up trying to kill you. So we got to be careful. Like, so I know you
Man, look.
double checking on them bookings for sure, huh?
Man, I went through a period where I just after I did the Mississippi tour, after I did that, I was like I slowed down, like not as far as releasing music, but as far as going out to perform. I
Right.
remember slowing down. I was like, I gotta figure this out because by then I was back by myself. I didn't have management and stuff anymore after that, so I was just like, dang, I gotta slow my roll because I'm really out here by myself. And
For real.
so I kind of fell into like just release the music, stay online, do some local stuff, woo doo woo, and then go on. I fell deep into that. And then I started getting back out there. I was around more people. I was like, okay, I got a little support system. Got people that gonna show up to the show with me. Some pop off, they ready. Stuff
Right.
like this. So because you can't stay hiding, so you can't just hide and duck off and think, no. So, we just keep blocking folks every time they try to come on social media, try to follow us. You know who it is. Block, block. That's all we can do. And we keep going.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
keep going. And just make it
That's
aware,
crazy.
make people, make it aware. But at that time it was just a mess out there. I forgot. You brought this up. I had forgot all about this. Some stuff I just be
Man,
moving
look,
on. I be moving on. I don't even be thinking about some
somebody say mind blowing.
Yeah, I forget a lot of times.
Man,
I'm like, all right, I keep moving. Like I don't sit in the well. I had a whole period of that, watching my
right.
back, stuff like that. I'm not. Mm-mm.
That's what you been a strong-minded person. Usually, strong-minded people don't dwell on the past; they just move forward.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you don't got time to dwell, and you too busy. You know, most
yeah.
people that's lazy,
Just stay.
you
Let's keep
gotta
moving.
dwell
Keep
on
your
it.
eyes open.
Yeah, people
Stay
that
guarded.
ain't working, that
And
ain't busy, they dwelling on stuff that,
yeah,
man, come on, bro, get over it, bro. You still dwelling on something that happened with you as a teenager?
yeah. That was a
Like,
long time ago. So it's like I ain't.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I
So,
moved on.
so when it comes to your social media, where can people find you at
They can find me
on
right
social
here on
media?
Instagram, the real Brande Patrice. You can find me on YouTube, Brande Patrice, my official page. And then, of course, BrandePatrice.com. You know, BrandePatrice.com, that's my bio, that's all my links, media. I have my store on there, my blog is on there. And then I also have my own streaming service, which is BPatriceMusic.com, where you can stream my
Right,
music 24/7, my show mixes, all that stuff, you know. So it's everywhere. And then of course Apple Music, you know, all that. But I really want y'all subscription, so you can go to
right.
bpatricemusic.com. You know what I'm saying? That's the BPM, and then you'll have all my music at all times. So yeah. But that's where you can find me. I'm not hiding them on Spotify, Apple, you know, all of the major platforms. So yeah, just take your pick.
And you can spell that out for them so they can find it for
Yeah,
Brandy.
it's Brande, Brande, Patrice, PA'T'. So, but even if you just type in Brande Patrice without the apostrophes and all that stuff, it'll still pull up because I'm the only one. But
Yeah, I was seeing that.
so,
Like, I'm like, is she Italian? Like, is that an Italian name? Like, where are your people from? Actually.
you from it? You from America?
Oh, okay, okay,
No,
okay.
but
I'm
that's
like,
just me
she
being
got
a
all
little
these.
extra. That's me being
Oh,
extra.
okay, okay, okay. You too smart for your own good right
Yeah,
now.
that's me being extra. So you know that the Brande, the E is long, so E, and
Right.
then the
I'm like,
Patrice, and then most people
okay.
call me Patrice anyway. You know, so but
I
that's if
was
you really know me. You
wondering
know
where
me.
that came.
People call me.
Yeah, I was wondering where that came from with all these symbols. I'm like, is she from France or like she got
Nah,
all these symbols
nah,
in
that's
here?
like you said. That's me being smart and extra.
Right,
Me
right,
being
right,
extra.
right, right,
But
right,
just
right. That
something, just
college education did play
be
good.
different, be
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So yeah, that's all. It's Brande Patrice.
Got you, got you, got you. So, what can we expect next from you as an artist? Like, what are you doing next? Like, what can we expect next as fans?
Next, I'm promoting. I'm strictly on the Band-Aid Love. I am gonna release my Majorette single EP type thing, but it's a song that's already out. But I have
Right,
other versions that I perform. Like I'm gonna have the NBA version on there. I'm gonna have my twirl mix on there. It's just something for that audience. But I'm still promoting heavily the Band-Aid Love. We're going into the summer with it. I have the EDM version. That's where I'm at right now. Trying to make
right.
sure I promote and give that energy to that particular audience. I'm just really trying to cover ground. I need to cover
Mm,
ground, expand my audience, let people
yeah.
know that I'm well rounded as far when it comes to the music. I can do anything. I can entertain. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where
So
it's
yeah,
at.
most definitely. If you need the marketing, you know we got Go to Money Team
I
Marketing.
need to.
Most
Yes,
definitely
I need to. Yes,
collaborate with them boys over
I
there.
need
Them our
to.
sponsors for sure.
I need to.
Um,
I need to put that on my list. I need to do
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. We gonna
Oh,
most
thank
definitely get
you.
that in the graph. Oh, okay. Facts, facts, facts. They stating facts. You feel me?
I appreciate it.
So we about to wrap this thing up. It
I
was a
know,
pleasure
right?
having you on the show. You have
You
an
too.
amazing story for
Thank you.
sure. Um, and if you want to come on the show again, most definitely could come on again for sure. And
Okay. Yeah, this was great. It was very good. Like this is very good. I liked it. It was very well planned and researched. I love it. That's
thank you.
good.
I ain't a
I
college
appreciate it.
graduate, but I
Well,
got the
that's
college
that
graduate
don't mean nothing.
skills.
That
You
you
know
don't
what I'm
have to be.
saying?
I was just telling somebody
Right.
else like you don't have to have all that. Like when you know
Exactly.
when you're passionate about what you're doing and you do it to the best of your ability, you prepared. That's it.
Right, and that's what I try to bring to the table. I try to do as much research as I can, or just have a conversation. You feel me? Based off of what the guests are saying, because some people don't have the information like how you have it with your bio, and you like gotta basically get it out of them during the interview. You know,
Right.
so it's not easy, but you know, I have my own way of doing things. You know, and being able to talk with people. I'm a people's person. You know.
Oh yeah.
I'm a people's person, so I ain't with no drama or nothing like that. I try to just get people's stories out there, give them a platform, you know, and build it. My next thing is, you know, having it so what people could actually come in and we could sit down and talk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So that'll be different. Get that up close and personal vibe. I'm based in Iowa.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Iowa. It's cold up there.
They get competitions out there.
For real?
You know, it'd be a different, like, I'm not saying it's quiet out there, but a lot of places it's kind of low key that you have competition.
Right.
Why I don't
I'm originally from Miami though. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a Miami boy. Don't get it. Yeah. I'm from Miami originally, but I know how to blend in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I know how to blend in. I stay to myself though. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how I like to keep it. I like to stay to myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be.
When you get to a certain time and a certain point, you be like, yeah.
I always been like that. Honestly.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah. Growing up, I never had a lot of friends. I might have a handful. I always kept a handful. If you ain't in that handful,
right,
I ain't messing with you, bro. I don't need to run with a pack. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You know, I like to stay to myself.
It's better like that. I mean, I think when we're younger, we don't know. We just want to be friends with everybody. But once you start seeing things, seeing how people are, interact, how they change, things that make you like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm good.
Some people need to be in the pack. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I can stand on my own, too.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need all those people around me. You know what I'm saying? As you can see what's going on right now, you know, everybody that's in these gangs and stuff, you know, they targeting people in gangs. You know what I'm saying? So I never was that type anyway. So, you know, you got to be careful out here in the company you keep. You most definitely got to be careful around here. Facts. So, yeah, most definitely we gonna keep in touch.
Okay.
This show is sponsored by Golden Money Team Marketing. Anybody that needs marketing, make sure you 24/7. That's the line. 24/7 nonstop. Golden Money Team Marketing. They would get you out there. You know, and I appreciate you for coming on the show. Like I tell everybody, salute.
Yeah.
Blessings, Queen. Blessings, Queen. You look beautiful as well. And you have a great day, a blessed day, Queen.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for having me. Thank you for the whole experience. Thank you to everybody that's in the chat. Thank you for the compliments. Right. Thank you for the inspiration and the motivation. So thank you again. And good night. Look.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. All right.
Keep the mind of a hustler. Mind of a hustler. Mind of a hustler. Mind of a hustler.